With the docks fully completed, this episode I turned back to continue work on building up the inner town. My aim is to fully complete the little street branching off from the main road in this episode. We will be adding 3 more buildings to this area, starting with a Mage's tower. I wanted to give the tower a rounded look to contrast with the other squared buildings. To do this, I used diagonal bricks to create an octagonal layout. But these bricks lack detail, so I added headlight bricks with cheese slopes attached to give it more visual interest. The mages of Lion's Guard specialize in alchemy. Their main source of income is selling potions, as well as distilling rum, well renowned throughout the realm for its quote magical effects. The ground floor is the alchemy workshop and upstairs is the mage's study. The tower needed to be tall since astrology is an important component of their craft. The distillery will be a separate build behind this tower. I prioritized the external appearance of this tower, so some sacrifices had to be made on the interior, such as the reduced interior space due to the rounded corners and having ladders instead of stairs. Luckily, these mages specialize in potions, so injuries from falling off the ladder is probably something that they can easily fix. Every town needs a landmark, and to me, a good landmark is something that stands out from the crowd, acting as a highlight for the town while still staying in theme with the surrounding buildings. That's my aim for this tower, to incorporate techniques from the other buildings while still having details that differentiate it as well. Even though the bottom section is stone built like the other buildings, it is rounded. The upper half uses the same timber framework technique as the others, but it has a more complex shape. And the roof is completely different from the thatch roofing of the other buildings here. I think all of these points give the tower a good balance of staying in theme whilst having its own unique style. Now for the distillery build. First off, I'm no expert in brewing or distilling, so I built something that looks interesting and somewhat resembles the real thing, but is probably not accurate. Luckily, this is a fantasy world, so I have that get out of jail free card. With both builds done, we can now place them. As usual, I prefer to connect structures down on jumper plates off the stud grid to prevent giving the diorama a squared and rigid look. The next build is a barracks for the town guards. This is quite a big build, covering 4 16 by 16 plates. We will begin with the first half, which is the main living quarters for the guards. The techniques here are the same with the houses from episode 4 with the stone-built ground floor, using techniques from the medieval blacksmith set, such as the timber supports and the snot brick placements, and a timber framework upper floor using techniques from the medieval town square set. The ground floor has a kitchen and a mess hall where the guards can get the dietary needs met. And the upper floor is the sleeping quarters as well as a strategy room for the captain of the guards. I wanted to give this building a darker theme, so I mixed in black colored parts for the timber framework as well as planking throughout the building. I think mixing black with reddish brown and dark brown gives the building a nice rustic look. All the floors and roofing here are removable just like the other buildings as well, but I didn't add a wall to the back of this build since it'll be leaning against the outer town wall, which will be built in a later episode, so for now it will remain open. There is a small palisade wall to separate the barracks from the rest of the town. This wall also acts as a support structure for wooden walkways surrounding the barracks. The next segment of the build is a little open courtyard area where briefings takes place. Guards can also take practice shots here. This is also the location of access stairs up to the wooden walkways. The final segment of the barracks is the armory. Weapons and armor are kept here near the entrance to the barracks for quick access when trouble arises. Adjacent to this building will be the gatehouse for the town, so this spot is ideal for an armory. In front of the entrance is a water tray and a hitch rail where the captain of the guard's horse is currently tied up. Above the armory is a continuation of the wooden walkway. The layout of this segment of the walkway isn't final yet, since I may have to adjust the positioning of the steps up to the town wall once the wall is built. Here's a demonstration of the walls behind the barracks, but it won't be as tall as these base plates. With the barracks done, we now have to expand the diorama by another 2 48x48 grey base plates before placing it. We are now at 10 grey base plates out of a total of 12, so we are well past the halfway point for this diorama. For those of you who are feeling a bit down now that we're coming up towards the end of this diorama, I'll have some good news for you in the coming month about Season 3 of this castle series. My aim is to create a narrow and winding street here, which is common in highly populated towns in the Middle Ages. I think I achieved that look here with all these buildings cramming around this street. But there's one more building to work on to complete the street, which is a storehouse. Lion's Guard is heavily reliant on trade by land and sea, so a trading guild was set up to organize the trade flow throughout the town. The guild built storehouses dotted around town as temporary storage for traders and merchants, and prevent the streets from becoming clogged up with barrels, crates, and chests. This is one of those storehouses. In episode 4, I built an inn with dark orange timber framework. I wanted to do that again, but with medium nougat mixed in for the weathered look and to reduce the intensity of the color scheme. I think this is a good progression from that pure dark orange build. I also thought the medium nougat thatched roofing for the inn didn't work too well with the dark orange, so I tried a darker tone here, which I think looks better. For those wondering, the tan cloth piece is from the LEGO City Safari set. It's that dreaded time of the year. The tax collectors are out making their rounds. But this time, the forestmen are in town. They've planned an ambush, aiming to make a quick snatch of the sacks of coins and escaping through their tunnels. What their plan didn't account for are the Wolfpack Brotherhood. They've been trailing the forestmen, learning of their plans. In the midst of the heist, the Wolfpack executed their plan of snatching the sacks first and making themselves scarce. But they were being watched. "You'd better leave, Easterner, or I'll cut you down where you stand," the thief threatened. The simplest plans most often are the best plans. And so you've bested the forestman. "I require your skills. My master pays very well," said the mysterious Easterner. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.